Good morning. We're going to be boning out a leg of lamb. Not so much boning it out, but this is a whole leg and it's just for two people. But we just want to get it into smaller joints that we can then roast up for the two of us. So, what do we start with? Obviously the leg of lamb. Decent sharp knife. The steel which I've used. Some plasters, just in case. We'll keep those to one side. Anyway, let's start. Can you see me still? Let's just trim up all the little fatty bits from around the leg. I'll bring it round this way. Don't forget to put these in the food recycling. Just tidying it up. I'm going to, and there's quite a chunk in there as well. I'm going to take the shank off to cook that separately. So we're looking along there, and just that little point there, the patella is just there. You can feel it with the knife, it's just under there. So then the actual joint will be, he said hopefully, just in there. Then you can either cut it as big as you want or as small as you want. So that, I would say, would be one portion. So there's our lamb shank. Number one, lamb shank. Now with this part, this is the top of the, what's that bone called? The femur, patella. The top of the femur, that would go into your pelvis. So that would be here. And I'm looking for, I don't want to just cut into the meat, because there is actually a seam that runs down it. So we're not so much boning it out, we're seaming it out. Let's take, and you can see a natural seam in there. If you nick it at the end of the knife, you can see it just, well, not so much pulling apart, but we're not damaging the actual muscle part of it. Can you see that okay? Yeah. I'm just talking to my cameraman there, who's mute. Well, she's mute, she's my Sue on the camera, my wife. And she's looking as if to say, you're going to cut your fingers any minute. Is that alright? So now we're coming and we're exposing the bone in there. It's running right down there. Might be a couple of bits where you won't see it properly. I'm trying not to get my hands in the way. This might be a bit better, like this. That's better. So we're just running the knife. As long as you can feel bone, you know you're doing okay, so to speak. And there's the patella, just exposed there, so we're on the right track with that bit. Turning it again slightly, and we're coming round the back. Let's try and get it again for the camera. And again. Just making little incisions, little cuts, so we're not, again a little tip, and I haven't done it here, but I think it might be handy if you put maybe a tea towel underneath the block or wooden board to stop it doing what it's doing now, and that's slipping. When I was young, my mother said to me, when you grow up, what would you like to do? And I said, well, I'd like to work with animals. And that's exactly what I did, but not quite as I foresaw it. I became a butcher, and that was 40 plus years ago. There's the patella, comes off. Now I don't know what these muscles are called, but we're just going to be seaming these out. So here's the first one come out. You can see it there. This actually in beef, if this was beef, this would be the top rump. Cut, cut, cut. Cut, cut, cut. Now that, let's just pop that over there. This is just solid muscle. And if you wanted to roast it, you could cut that into steaks or you could dice it, whichever you wanted to do. But with that, you can use these to roast it. You buy these on eBay. They're on a butcher's sundries on eBay, and they're just elasticated bands. You buy them in a bag of 1,000 for $10.99. Simple to do. Open it up, put it over the meat, let it go. Straighten it up, then the next one. Straighten it up, and put a third one on. Pull it over, straighten it up. Just turn it over that they're all straight. You may want to put one that way, which I think will do. Now that now will sit quite happily in a roasting tin with all your red wine, etc. around it. Bay leaf on top. You could actually put the bay leaf underneath the band, and that's it there. So that's that one. So that's one roasting joint. Bring back the main fella again. Now here we want to turn, let's get rid of this little bit flappy thing, like so. Again, that you can use for stock as well, by the way, and with the patella, meat bones. Right, so again, if this was beef, we're going to be coming, you can see all the various seams that are in there. So I'm not even using the bony knife, look, I'm just pulling it apart. That there, that runs down the middle, this part here, is a femoral artery. Don't quote me on that one, but I do know that when severed, it's like an instant bleed to death jobby. And this is right, the top part, that's the part he walks on. That's the thick end, that's like your thigh, that is your thigh basically in human terms. So that's the bit he walks on, he'll have a little trotter on the end there. And we're pulling this part apart, sorry, or seaming it. And again, that's that separated. That, if that was in beef, this would be top side. Just tidy it up, any little bits of gristle which would have come off the pelvis, take those off, slide the knife underneath. Always watching that your fingers aren't in the way, because the trouble with knives is they don't differentiate between dead meat and living meat, i.e. your fingers. So that again, similar thing with that, with the turkey bands, bosh bosh bosh, and maybe one across, or you could slice it in steaks again. That's that one. This one, this, if it was in beef, would be silver side, and they call it silver side because, I don't know, because of that little band there. It's almost like a silvery band. Silvery band. So that similar, might be an idea to take that off. So just slide the knife underneath it. You still going? Like that. And that again is into food waste. Take the excess fat off if you want to, and the remains of the femoral artery will come out away with that. And that's that one. Same, exactly the same with that one. Turkey bands and ready for roast. That is how you bone a leg of lamb out. Again, if you wanted to keep it all as one piece, you could do exactly what we did, take the bone out, and then you'd have a big larger one and roll that round. Thanks for watching.